Good evening. So it looks like midnight outside of my house, but it is only 5:30 p.m. So let's start at the top of the mat. Whatever time you are doing this is perfect. We're going to aim for an hour. So let's just start to breathe. On your next exhale, lower your arms by your sides. Inhale, reach up, look at the thumbs. Exhale to fold forward, touch the floor. Inhale, halfway up, armpits forward. And step or jump, chaturanga. Exhale, just bend the elbows so they graze your ribs. Inhale for upward facing. And exhale for downward facing dog. We'll stay here for a few breaths. Straight arms, straight legs, unless you feel like you need to wiggle a bit. And just so you know the rough outline, which you probably already know because you read the description, but we're going to do some hip openers from primary series, and we'll try to apply them to some arm balancing. We'll see how it goes. So make sure you're pressing into your thumb and pointer finger. After your next exhale, step or jump, feet to hands. Inhale to straighten the legs. Exhale to fold. Rise up. Inhale. Arms by the sides. Samasthiti. Exhale. Neutral standing. Inhale, reach up. Keep the tailbone dropping. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway up. Inhale. Step or jump, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale to the top of the foot, lift the chest, shoulders back. Exhale, downward dog. So these are just the Surya Namaskar A's from the Ashtanga tradition. Nice way to warm up, very repetitive. In a normal practice, we would do 5A and 5B. We will probably do 3 and 3 in this class. Let's take one more breath here. And after your exhale, step, walk, or jump, feet forward. Inhale when you get there, feet together. Exhale, fold. Rise up, inhale. Arms by our sides, exhale. One more time, Surya Namaskar A. Inhale. Reach up, exhale to fold forward. Inhale to look forward, exhale to step or jump, chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, upward facing, exhale, downward facing. If you have any wrist issues, anytime we're in downward dog, instead of keeping your arms straight, come down here to your forearms. And then your wrists will be neutral, and it's lovely. You also might want to go to your forearms just if you're trying to work on opening your shoulders a little more. Let the belly draw in. Take one more breath. And after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale when you get there. Fold, exhale. Rise up, inhale. Arms by our sides, exhale. For Surya Namaskar B, bend the knees. Inhale, look up, reach up. Fold, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Step or jump back. Bend the elbows, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Right foot forward for warrior one. Angle the left foot. Press into that left heel. Reach up. Exhale, hands to the floor for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left foot forward. Inhale to reach up. Exhale to plant the hands. Step back and bend the elbows. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to lift the hips. And we stay here for 5 breaths. That's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. After your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale. Fold, exhale. Bend the knees. Inhale, lift the arms. Samastiti, straight legs. And again, bend the knees. Inhale, reach. Fold, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Step or jump back. Lower down, exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right foot forward. We're trying to get the breath like a metronome. Inhale. Exhale for chaturanga. Even though we have so much ground to cover, it's all on that exhale. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left foot forward. Inhale to reach. Exhale, plant the hands. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. And exhale, downward facing. 5 breaths here. Take care of whatever is your issue. Maybe you come to the forearms, maybe you have hamstring issues, and today you want to lift your heels and bend your knees. That also might apply to back issues. Just find a way to make the pose doable, breathable, sustainable. We'll take one more breath. And after the exhale, we'll bring our feet forward so that we can inhale to straighter legs. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees. Utkatasana, inhale. Samastitihi. One more. Surya Namaskar B. Inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway up, look forward, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward dog, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Right foot forward, warrior 1, inhale. Hands to the floor, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Left foot forward, inhale, reach. Hands down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. And we'll stay here for 5, or wherever your here was for sustainability. So often we do a lot of fun things in our beginning 10 minutes because I like improv and I find it very fun. But I want you to see how warm you're getting just with this simple repetition. And this is something you can learn very easily so that if it's 10:42 on a Wednesday and you feel like doing some yoga, you have a reference point. Okay, after your exhale, step or jump forward. Inhale to straighter legs. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, inhale. Straighten the legs, exhale. Okay, so now we will start with a little more fun improv. So take a little step back just so you have more room at the top of your mat. We'll bend into the knees for Utkatasana. And then we'll squat on the exhale, reach forward so your arms counterbalance the weight of your butt. Return to Utkatasana, inhale. And return to your squat, exhale. We'll just do this a few more times. Your knees are pressing into each other the whole time. Your back is rounding when you're squatting, and it's arching when you're lifting the arms up. Some of you, the hands are gonna come together when you're reaching up, some of you not, but keep your arms straight. Take one more. And after this next Utkatasana, plant the hands down about 12 inches in front of your toes for Bakasana. We'll lift the heels, bring your knees toward your armpits, start to shift your weight forward until you're on the tippy toes, and then eventually your heels will rise up toward your butt, and you'll lean forward a little bit more and look forward. On your next exhale, jump to Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing, and exhale, downward facing. Right leg up high, inhale. Step forward to the hands, exhale. High lunge, inhale. Open warrior two, exhale. Straighten the right leg, inhale. And rebend, exhale. Now just check that you have heel to arch alignment. Front heel would draw a line to that back arch. And let's go for Purvottanasana. Right elbow to the thigh, left arm reaches over the ear, or maybe hand down. I'm going to scoot back a little bit because I feel like I'm out of frame. It's 2, 3. We'll be here for 5 breaths. 4, 5. We'll turn it into triangle pose. Just straighten the right leg, reach the left arm up. You might want to scoot your back foot in just a smidge. 1, your right hand will be on the floor, shin, ankle, big toe. 2, or the block or anywhere else. 3, 4, and 5. Ardha Chandrasana. We'll reach forward with the right hand, launch the left leg up off the ground, and then it's very similar to the triangle you were just in. You're still scooping that right hip under, still looking up. That's 2, 3. You might need your right leg bent in order to get your hand to the floor. 4, or just put your hand on a block. And 5. Untwist. We'll step back and we'll just walk that right foot a little bit more to the right for lizard pose. 2 hands to the big toe side of the foot. Let's for right now keep the back knee lifted and the right foot facing the front. So it's the lizard pose that is very strong and not at all relaxing. If your hips are open enough, maybe you come to the elbows. But notice the tendency for this to happen, the hips kind of drop low and the back knee gets banana shaped. Instead, squeeze your thighs together so it feels like your hips are moving up toward the ceiling. 1 more breath. We'll rise to the palms again if you're low. Walk the foot in so your right hand can place, and we'll step to plank. Exhale for your Chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing. Exhale for downward facing. And we'll just lift the left leg high. Inhale. Step forward, try to get your toes to line up with your fingers. Inhale for high lunge. And open up warrior 2. Inhale to straighten your left leg. This is just to adjust the hips a bit. Exhale to bend. Check your alignment, heel to arch. Hips face the long edge of the mat. And we'll find Purvottanasana. Reach out with that right arm. 1. We want a straight line from back foot to top hand. 2. 3. And you can always change your mind about what your left hand or arm is doing. 4. and 5. We'll turn it into triangle. Just straighten the left leg, maybe scoot the right foot in, reach up, look up. 1, 2, press into the ball of your left foot. 3, lean your right shoulder back. 4, and 5. Into Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to scoot my foot back just for the camera, but you're already in a spot where you could just launch right leg off the ground. That's 2. Kick your right heel back. 3, 4, and 5. We'll untwist, step back, and move the left foot a little more to the left so both of your hands can be on the big toe side of your foot. Those left toes facing front. Actually, the right toes are also facing front because your back heel is lifted. So make a choice, stay on your hands or come to the elbows. And if you're on your elbows, they're like under your shoulders and your hands are out in front somewhere. I'm trying to squeeze that left leg in to the ribs. It is very hard, so we just try our best and we let that be good enough. I don't know if it came up on the Zoom audio, but my cat is hissing at my other cat. Okay, so if you're on your elbows, return to your palms, scoot your left foot more center so you can put your left hand under your shoulder and step to plank. Exhale for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Right leg up high again. Inhale. Step forward to the hands. Exhale. Now let's just bring the left knee down. We're going to make a little box here. So it's right angles all around between the knees and the thighs. Lift the left arm up. Inhale. And twist. Bring that elbow or tricep outside of the leg, hands to prayer. And with this box shape, it's just easier to get your arm pretty far over the leg. When you're ready, lift the back knee again. You could always lower your left hand to the floor, lift your right arm up. Another option is reach the top arm over your ear. Another option is put your back heel down. So each time I give you another choice, we just made it a little bit harder. One more breath. We'll unravel. We'll straighten the right leg and scoot that left foot in just a little bit more and out to the left so that you're set up for twisted triangle. Left foot will be maybe 45 degrees angled. Left hand down to either side of the foot or the shin. Right arm up. 1, 2, 3. Swing that right hip back. 4, and think of lifting your left hip up toward the ceiling. And 5. Let's unravel. Step your left foot further back so you're in a lunge again. Then walk your right foot to the left for pigeon. And you decide how far away from your left hip is this right foot. Let's come to the forearms for this pigeon. And that's going to help take the weight off that right hip so that you can square up nicely. One more thing we'll do to square up nicely. Curl your back toes and lift your left knee off the ground. You can't really see me doing that because I have black pants on a black mat. But there's maybe, I'm going to look, maybe 4 inches between my back knee and the mat. Then that left hip can come forward more, the right hip can go back more. You're just going to feel more in the right hip. Okay, without moving your hands or your elbows, just step to forearm plank. that right foot will move back. Draw the belly in so it's not getting toward the floor with gravity. It's not getting taken. Let's start to walk the feet in, butt will lift. You wind up in down dog B, pressing into the fingertips so that your armpits move closer to your legs. Just relax the neck. Okay, straighten the arms, downward dog. Take a breath there. And we'll do it all on the other side. So left leg high, inhale. Step forward, exhale. And we'll reach that right knee down so we have that box shape. And this is different from Anjaneyasana. Sometimes we do go to Anjaneyasana and then twist. But just see what the difference is when you make this box. It's nice. Right arm up, inhale. And twist, exhale. Hands to prayer. Find your balance. So you're pushing your leg into your arm. And you lift that back knee. And then you just see how feasible is it to get your right hand to the floor. That's going to depend on how much you twist it. And decide what you want to do with your left arm. It's either in prayer, or it's reaching up, or it's reaching over your ear. Decide what you want to do with your back heel. If you put your back heel down, it becomes very hard to swing the left hip back. So it's another one of those poses where we try our best and that it's good enough. Okay, let's unravel. We're going to slide that right foot in and just a smidge over to the right so that we're set up for twisted triangle. Decide where you want your hand to be. And left arm up. Look up if you can. 1, 2, both legs straight. 3, so if that means that the block has to be higher, do that. 4, and 5. Okay, unravel. Step back with the right foot and walk your left leg into pigeon. Come onto the forearms. If it's too easy, move your left foot forward a few inches. And when you feel like you're set up, lift your right knee. As soon as that right knee comes up, you're going to feel those right hip flexors a little bit more. Plus, it's going to keep you very honest with the squareness. We're tempted sometimes to bring that left butt cheek to the ground, or whichever is the front leg, but we want to keep it square. Okay, let's meet in forearm plank. So hoist yourself up enough to slide that left leg back. If this is too much, just put your knees on the floor. Either way, you're going to think of reaching your tailbone toward your feet. Belly in. Take one more breath. Here it's pretty easy to keep our hands where they are. Let's start to walk our feet in. Every inch your feet come forward, it gets harder and harder. So you might decide to not walk your feet in very far, or you might decide to do a dolphin pose instead, which would be interlacing the fingers. Okay, let's meet in downward dog. I'm going to walk the hands to the feet. And when you get there, slide your hands under the feet, Padahastasana. Balls of the feet are going to press into the palms. Inhale. And fold, exhale. 5 breaths here. That's 2. 3. If your knees need to be bent to get the hands in this position, then just keep them that way until eventually over the years, your legs can get straighter. Let's all keep the belly in. On the next inhale, straighten the arms. And exhale to release the hands, bring them up to your hips. Inhale the rest of the way up. And let's come forward a little bit on the mat, not all the way. We're going to go in and out of Bakasana. You went into it before and you stayed there. So let's meet in Utkatasana. On your exhale, lower your hands. On your inhale, rock forward and lift your feet. We'll just return to Utkatasana. So feet will come down, knees and ankles together. We'll inhale to reach the arms up. So the exhale is going to transition us, and the inhale is going to bring us into the new place. The exhale will lower the feet down. The inhale will reach the arms up, look up. Exhale to lower the hands significantly in front of your toes so that when you inhale, you can shift your weight forward. Your feet literally push you. Let's do this 2 more times. If it's too much for your wrists, maybe just do what we did before with the squats. If the transition is making you crazy, maybe stay put in the pose. The next time we come into Bakasana, we're going to jump back again to Chaturanga. So we're looking forward. We're going to keep looking forward. Exhale to shoot the legs back. Inhale to lift the chest. And exhale to lift the sitting bones. Hopefully the video feed is not frozen. Sometimes the visual that I see freezes for no reason. Okay, let's walk hands back to feet again. Bend the knees and roll up. Heavy arms, heavy head, until everything stacks. And we'll bring the hands to prayer. Right ankle to lower left thigh. Stick your butt out and lean your chest forward. We call this flying pigeon. We have our right elbow on our knee, and we just nudge the knee to the floor. It's possible that you can't get your elbow to your knee. You're more up here. That's fine. Just wait, and eventually it will happen. Okay, just rise up and change sides. Flying pigeon, left ankle to lower right thigh. We lean forward. So it's a counterbalance with your low body and your upper body. That's why you're not falling forward or back. It will get harder later, and you'll just have to keep that in mind. All right, let's rise up, shake it out. And I'm just going to face you, but you're fine where you are. We're just going to interlace the fingers on the right shin, bend the elbows, and pull the knee in. As you're pulling your right knee in, try to drop your right hip, and flex your foot. Slip your left hand away. So now it's just your very strong right arm holding your right leg there. Belly in, cross your left hand across to the pinky toe side of your right foot and extend your leg forward, reach your right arm back and look back. You could keep your right arm reaching back, or if you feel like your right hip is lifting, you could put your thumb in your hip crease and push that right hip down. Just take one more breath here. And we're going to bend both knees, untwist, and bring our right ankle to our lower left thigh again, flying pigeon. Okay, we'll come to stand, left hand to the hip, right hand to the shin bone, and now we're going to try to pull the right knee in toward the armpit. Either stay here or belly in so that you can round forward, reach your right hand for the pinky toe edge of your right foot, and extend the leg out to the side. Gaze to the left. Okay, returning to flying pigeon. So both legs bend. We put that ankle on the lower thigh And that's not going to change. So there's no sliding this ankle up and down the thigh. It's just there. And let's try to touch the floor. And then you're going to feel like your chest can get close to your shin bone. Maybe your hands are on blocks instead of the floor, but when I say the floor, you just go in that direction. Okay, let's rise up and just shake it out. We have the other side. So we're going to start with our fingers interlaced on the left shin. Roll the shoulders back, bend the elbows. So we're not leaning back. The only reason that our knee is coming in is because our elbow's bent. Okay, so your left arm is going to have to be real strong. Right hand comes away. Reach down. Flex your left foot and kick out. Any amount. Does not have to be a straight leg. Either reach back or find your hip so that you can make your left hip go down. Sometimes it's just a little teeny manual adjustment that will help it behave. Or sometimes just the brain saying left hip lower is enough. Okay, flying pigeon. So untwist, bend both knees, place your ankle on your lower thigh, lean forward. The more you bend your standing leg, the easier it is to balance here. You also might see an inconsistency between this side and the other side. Okay, right hand to the hip, left hand to the shin or knee, and pull the knee into the left armpit. And again, we're not leaning. The tendency is something like, woo, to get the knee high. But instead, you're just going to stay stacked and bend the left elbow accordingly. When you're ready, reach for the edge of the foot and kick out. Gaze to the right. And we just do our best to stay stacked, shoulders over hips. Okay, ankle to thigh. Flying pigeon with the attempt at touching the floor. So as you descend, reach with your arms. It actually is maybe more stable. Maybe it feels good. It's not as precarious in the balance. You have to deal with your hip opening, but you don't have to deal with the balance. Take one more breath. Okay, we'll rise up and shake it out. Oh Lordy, my hips are on fire. Let's come to the top of the mat. I'm just checking out the clock. Okay, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Let's come halfway up for an inhale. Step or jump, chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. For warrior one. Right foot forward, angle that back foot, and let's reach up with opposite elbow grip. And we'll look forward instead of up, and we'll try to pull the arms back. We'll let the head go accordingly with the arms so that our ears stay framed by those upper arms. Take one more breath here. Try to bring the left ribs forward. Okay, we'll lower the fingertips down. I'm just scooting back for the sake of the camera, but you're fine as is. We're going to lift the back heel and just slide that left leg forward so we can have a seat. Marichyasana A. We're going to have about 5 inches here between foot and thigh. Reach forward so that your ribs come inside of your right leg. Wrap your arm around your leg. And your hands will hold near your right hip and fold. I'll talk a little bit more about the shoulder rotation, but if you know it, just be in the pose. So when you reach forward, your thumb is going to face down, palm will face out. Armpit is going to be toward the front of your shin. Now your palm is going to face the ceiling as it comes around the side. So that when your elbow bends, your knuckles are on your hip, Palm is facing away from you so that the left hand or wrist can just plop right in there. Okay, slowly unwind, because those of you who were in it, you just had your 5 breaths. We're going to return to our lunge. So shift your weight into that right foot and step the left foot back. Warrior 1 again. I need more mat room. This time steeple mudra. Pointer finger up, fingers interlaced. You decide, do you look up or do you look forward and let your arms squeeze your head? Just find that strength of warrior 1, the lift of the belly. I think my mat just slid because I only have 1 foot on it. That's funny. Okay, so we're going to lower to the fingers. I'm going to slide my mat back from whence it came. And we'll bring our left leg again forward and through so that we can have a seat. And this time for Marichyasana C. So now we don't need the inches here. So the heel is close to your sitting bone. There's maybe 2 inches instead of 5. We'll hug that knee to the left shoulder and twist to look over the right shoulder. If that's going well, hook your arm. If that's going well, your left thumb leads the hand around the shin, and you'll pick up your right hand to hold. Keep looking back. Keep sitting tall. Keep pushing your knee into your left arm. 1 more breath. Let's unravel. We're going to turn this into Janu Sirsasana A. I'm just going to face you for the sake of this black pants on black mat business. So right foot to left thigh. Inhale. And exhale to fold forward. Reach for your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we'll rise up. And let's find our lunge again. So the right foot is going to return, sole to the floor. And the left leg, I wrinkled my mat, we'll just step back. This time, let's put the left knee on the ground. And we're going to attempt Bakasana. Earlier, you did many Bakasanas with 2 legs. So this time, we're going to bring our right armpit to the shin bone thereabouts. You could also go to your knee. I go shin bone because it's easier. So the knee will be outside of my arm and my right foot will be inside of it because I have that crossing of shin. And I'm going to rock forward and let the left toenails drag along the floor as I push the right shin into my arm and try to get that left leg up off the ground. Take your time trying that. You might want to pause the video, try it a few times. It is probably the hardest arm balance. And it takes a very long time to figure out how to shift your weight. All right, left leg forward for warrior 1. Reach up. Hold opposite elbows. Frame the ears, lift through the chest. Drop the tailbone. Okay, I'm going to lower the hands. I'm going to just slide back so that I don't wind up off camera again. And we'll bring the right leg forward so that we can sit on our butts for Marichyasana A. So find the space here between foot and thigh, because when you fold forward, you want your knee to stay pretty much in line with your ankle. So we reach as far as we can. You might even want to hold on and pull. When you're ready, it turns into a full bind. I've been yapping a lot, so that's already 3. But if you feel like you just got into it and you want to be there longer, just press pause, be there for a while. Okay. So we'll unbind. We're stepping that left foot down. So at no point in the pose did this sole of foot get wishy-washy. It's always pushing into the floor. So when you rise up and step back, that left foot doesn't move. Let's find our Warrior One steeple mudra. I keep just shifting more and more around my room. It is pretty funny. Okay, fingers down. We'll bring that right leg forward. And if this is not a way that's working for you for any number of reasons, just sit down, bend your left leg, straighten your right. All right, so we find our bind to the twist. So right knee to left, right shoulder to left knee. Left knee is bent up toward the ceiling. So you can stay hugging or you can hook your arm. I have an injury on one side, so I'm not going to bind on this side. But if you are going to bind on this side, you're going to have your hand move down toward the floor and around your shin. So it's that initial bit that's really going to make it happen for you. Plus, you need to twist enough that your armpit is right up against your thigh. Okay, now we're going to unravel there. Janu Sirsasana A. Just let that knee drop open, foot to thigh, so you have 90 degrees between your thighs. Inhale, and reach out toward your foot. Exhale. 1. So it's like that left armpit is trying to touch the right ankle. 2. 3, and I know injuries are very frustrating for all of us, but they do help us pay more attention. Because I know that my bandhas are very lazy, but when I have an injury, they protect me. Okay, let's rise up, and we'll find our attempt at our arm balance. So that left foot will plant itself again. The right leg will slide back and we'll be in a lunge. I'll try not to step on my cat. So the setup, it's going to be a little bit different for everybody, but we should not be jumping into it. So bend your elbows in order to get your armpit to your shin bone, and just practice lifting your left foot off the ground and shifting your weight forward. That's already quite a lot. When you feel like that's no problem, you try to let your back leg drag in. Your hips are going to lift up as your back leg drags in. And at some point, they're going to be high enough that just like when you're going to headstand, the leg floats. So there's no moment that you're kicking your leg up toward the ceiling. Okay, let's come have a seat, however you want to get there. And we're going to bring right ankle to lower left thigh. Lean back, bend your left leg so your heel's close to your butt, and then try to lean forward again. So it should feel very much like flying pigeon, minus the anxiety about your balance, plus a little more Uddiyana Bandha. Girls, why are you fighting tonight? Okay, let's straighten that left leg out again. We'll bring that right foot further up the thigh into half lotus. Aim your heel for your belly button. That right knee will peel in slightly toward the left, and we'll fold forward, potentially wrap your right arm behind your back and grab hold of your left toes. If half lotus is not your thing, feel free to repeat any of the other folding poses that we've done, or the Marichyasana. Okay, let's rise up. We're going to bring our left leg into full lotus, but there's a stipulation here. So if you're here and your right knee is off the ground and you had a block maybe under your leg, you're not going to go to full lotus, you're just going to cross your legs. If your right knee can come to the floor, bring your left leg up, and there you are in lotus. Either way, lotus or not, hands under thighs, lean forward, bend your elbows round your back, keep your knees in relation to your shoulders as they are, and then just straighten your arms, and you wind up in Utpluktihi with your butt off the ground. Trying to lift the knees a little bit higher, round yourself a little bit more. Okay, come on down. I know that's really hard. Let it go. And let's just do the other side. Left ankle to lower right thigh. Lean back. Foot to ground. Butt close to heel. And we try to walk it in a bit and bring our chest toward our shin. This is just one of 1,000 preps for lotus. Oh, hello. My little girl popped out from behind the sheet. Okay, straighten out that right leg. So if you're going for half lotus, think heel to belly button, but then notice how when you're doing heel to belly button, your knee is facing way out that way. So now when you actually place your foot on your thigh, your knee has to come in. And then you'll have 2 inches of toe dangling over the hip. The knee is either on the ground or on a block, however that's comfortable for you. So we've already been there a few breaths because I've been yapping. I try to make the count in my head sync up to folks that just went right into it and didn't listen to my long descriptions. Okay. So we'll rise up out of there and potentially go into full lotus, or anything cross-legged will do just fine. Hands under the thighs. Watch what happens if I bring my hands next to my hips instead of under the thighs. My arms are already straight. There's nowhere to go. So hands under the thighs, lean forward. Look how bent the elbows are. Belly in, back is rounded. Now just straighten your arms and lift your knees up with you. And you wind up with your butt off the ground. And you haven't had this much fun all day. Okay, come on down. Unravel your legs, and let's meet in downward dog. Few breaths, nice normal place. All right, so all this hip work, oh my Lord, they're fighting behind the sheet. Look at these dopes. Girlies, what is going on? I promised you arm balances with hips. So let's come about center on the mat and just roll yourself up. So we'll use flying pigeon to get us into Galavasana. And of course, it's optional and you just take it as far as you want. So right ankle to lower left thigh, bend the left leg. So you've been here now maybe 4 times today. Fingertips down is a prerequisite to the arm balance. If your hip is exploding with your fingertips down, don't go any further. When you can, palms down. And start to shift your weight forward. You're going to hook your flexed right foot around your left arm. Bring your right knee toward your right armpit. Shift your weight forward. Get your left foot up toward your butt. And start pressing down more with your shin into your arms so that your left leg can lift. The exit is chaturanga, so you have to fling your right leg back. And it's great fun. We're going to meet in downward dog. Feel free to pause the video, try it a few more times. It's really a hip thing. And once your hip is okay, it's no harder than any other arm balance, including just normal Bakasana. So let's come center on the mat again. Roll yourself up and start to get situated. So it's very important that this foot is flexed and not moving. Sometimes this happens, slides around on the thigh. It cannot slide up the thigh, and it cannot do this either. If that happens, it's over. So remember your shape. And then come on into it at your pace. Take your time setting up. Your hands are no different than they'd be in a downward dog. And it's all pressing that ankle and foot into the arm. That will help get your butt up and in turn get your leg up. Okay, come on through, have a seat. And let's bring our, how do I want to play this? Soles of the feet together. Knees out to the side, Baddha Konasana A. So the knees are dropping as our feet open like a book. So just see how low can your knees go. And then start to pull your chest toward your toes. And your knees may go a little bit lower. Take 2 more breaths. We'll rise up. We'll bring the knees in and separate the feet hips width. Reverse tabletop. Press into your heels. Lift your hips. Squeeze your butt a bit so that you can get your pubic bone a little bit higher. And it should feel like you're tractioning your heels back toward your hands. Okay, let's come on down and straighten the legs. Just glue the feet together, the thighs together, point the toes, and we'll go for the same idea, but in Purvottanasana. And if you prefer, repeat a reverse table. So we press our pubic bone up, we squeeze all the muscles of the back body. 2 more breaths. And we'll come on down. Gadzooks, that's a hard pose. Okay, let's lower down to our backs. Before we go to Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, we're just going to go to a Pilates bridge. So we're going to push into our heels. We're going to press our low back into the floor. We'll lift the pubic bone up toward the belly button, and we'll peel our back off the ground. And we're just going to make a straight line from shoulders to knees. So we're using our butt quite a bit. And press your heels into the floor. Bend your knees a little bit more so it feels like your knees are trying to move toward the top of your mat. And without moving your hips, you might even want to keep your fingers on your hip bones just to make sure they stay at this height. Just lift your right heel off the floor. Left heel will stay down for a sec. And then change which heel is up. And just keep changing which heel is up. See if you can keep your hips steady. It's going to work your butt like crazy. But it might help us with some back pain and some effective back bending. Okay, let's bring both heels down again and roll down to your back, 1 vertebra at a time. And we'll take it into Yoga Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. So this one, the chest will poof out. And if you're not sure what I mean, have a little look-see. So instead of this straight line, we're going to go underneath with the shoulders, and we're going to try to bring our chest closer to our face. But of course, the head is pressing into the mat, so the chin and the chest will never touch. Just take 2 more breaths here. And we'll slowly come on down. And we're going to take 1 more back bend. It could be one that we've already done, or it can be Ardha Chandrasana. I'm going to do Pinchamayurasana. So that will mean I'm shifting all the way around to come onto the forearms. This way I can peek at the clock. That's kind of what my motivation was. So you can do a back bend from your back, from your belly, from sitting, like how we did Purvottanasana. If you're going for Marichyasana, forearms down, step one foot in, shift your weight forward, and the leg that's down is going to push, while the leg that's up is going to reach. And once you find your balance, you're going to bring your legs together, point your toes, and squeeze your legs together, as you did in Purvottanasana. For me, this is actually easier than a lot of back bends because it doesn't require much flexibility. And I lack in some flexibility. So come on down from whatever back bend you chose, and we're going to meet in hands and knees. So if you're on your back, swivel around. Let's just do some cat-cows. Inhale to arch, find your Mula Bandha in order to round. So think about your sitting bones spreading and lifting as you inhale, and drawing toward one another and tucking under as you exhale. Take two more. Arms straight if you can. If you have any wrist issues, do this on the forearms. Now we're going to meet in downward dog so that we can walk the hands back toward the feet for crisscross applesauce. So bend the knees, chest will rest on your thighs, reach your arms around the outside of your legs, and bring them through the shins, between the shins, and hands to opposite shin. Drop your head. As you feel comfortable, belly in, and start straightening the legs. Some days I get my legs really straight and it feels amazing. Other days, if I were to straighten my legs, I would not be walking for a week. So play it by ear and go slow. Two more breaths. Belly in. Let's release the arms, bend the knees, sit down. I'm going to open my little kitty's door and then sit down. We're going to go for Baddha Konasana one more time. I don't know why they're so crazy tonight. Open up the knees, open up the feet, and reach your chest forward. You'll have a different feeling here because of your back bends. All right, let's rise up and we'll head to Shavasana because the hour flies by. You could keep your legs like this when you're in Shavasana, or you could straighten them, or you can have soles of the feet mats width, knees in. Or legs on the couch. Take a few more breaths. And bring your knees into your chest. So it's like child's pose, but upside down. And take it over to the right side in a fetal position. You can let your right arm be your pillow. And with the eyes closed, sit up. Try to stack your shoulders over your hips. Sometimes we lean forward because we're always rushing or we're expecting something. Settle in instead. Try to bring your ears over your shoulders. We'll bring the hands together. Fold forward any amount to seal in your practice. Namaste. Email me, text me, comment below, etc. with your questions, comments, requests for next time. Good night.